The last time you guys played Penn State, I mean, you and Fletcher had things going really well on the perimeter, but that was also, I think, one of the, not the first times, but more visible times that you and Zach really played off each other really well. Was that kind of a springboard game for your two-man game with Zach a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I think just the way that they were playing their pick and roll defense just really opened things up just because they're in drop and they had to pick and choose whether it was me shooting it or giving up a lot to Zach. And they chose sometimes to stay with me, and that's when I threw it to Zach, or they chose to stay with Zach and I found somebody else or got my own shot.
Would that have been a game where you really felt confident shooting the ball from the perimeter and they were giving you some opportunities out there?
Yeah, 100%. I think once that first shot kind of fell, things just kind of open, and then obviously confidence kind of goes up when that first shot hits. So I think once they started going under on ball screens and stuff, that was really helpful just to be able to get those wide open shots.
So you and Fletcher, being two freshmen starting the backcourt, obviously there's going to be some uncertainty. You never know with freshmen. Why do you think you guys have been able to step in and do what you've done this year?
I think it's just how we're both kind of wired. We both kind of play with a chip on our shoulder. We play like we have to prove something. Even if we've already proved it, we'll still try to prove it either way. So I think just having that mindset going into every game just is kind of how we are and how we've always been.
Do you feel like you have similar personalities?
100%. I mean, we both have a lot to work on, a lot to improve upon. So just kind of seeing and going day by day, and after watching film during games that pass, just seeing like what our mistakes are and stuff like that, just going and fixing those mistakes to be better for the next.
This is a little off the wall, but I know you guys played against each other in high school. I think it was Fletcher's last game, your second last game, and sectionals or something. Semi-state, what do you remember about that game?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely an intense game. They were actually up by like 13-15 against us going into the fourth quarter, so I kind of thought it was already over at that point. But we made a comeback and was able to kind of overcome that and be able to pull out a win. So.
Drew, you had a broken foot during that game?
I did. Sectionals through regionals.
Yeah. A game like that, did you know Fletcher at all going into that game? I know you'd played against him a little bit earlier, but what were like your impressions of him?
Yeah, no, I've played against him in AAU this summer before, so I mean we've been talking and we've been kind of friends since then. So I mean it's just another like one of those games where you're playing against your friends. So I mean it's just kind of we knew what he was gonna do. I mean he can shoot and score on all three levels, so just trying to stop him and trying to limit him. Obviously we didn't do a great job because he still finished with something like 30 something, but I mean we pulled out the W. So.
Are there any bragging rights now that ever come up?
No, we get a little talks about it every once in a while, but no, not as much, no.
Just what do you feel has been like the adjustments from high school to college? You're pretty deep into your freshman year now. What have been the differences? What have been the challenges?
I think definitely just the size of everybody here, the quickness and speed of the game is definitely a huge difference. I mean, I feel like that's a no-brainer, and everybody can kind of see that. And then also just going in, just the physicality is different. Obviously, everybody's bigger, stronger, faster, and more athletic. So just trying to adjust to that and really just trying to play to our strengths. So.
Was there a moment? Was there a time you realized like you can do this? Like you can come in as a freshman and start contribute right away?
I think that's always been my mindset. Kind of going into my freshman year of high school, I had the same thing. I mean, I was 130 pounds and 5'7", so like I still had that same mindset. Like, hey, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna play because I feel like I'm good enough. That's just the confidence I've had in myself. And same thing with Fletcher. He's the same way. We think the same. Like we think that the work we put in, we deserve to play. So.
What do you think that you brought defensively to this team?
Well, actually, I never really hear that, so I mean, it's kind of shocking. Not a lot of people say I'm a good defensive player, so I mean, I'm trying to work on it. Obviously, kind of learning a lot of things. I mean, like kind of that Michigan State game, I learned a lot just because he's a 5-year senior and he knows what he's doing. He's experienced. He's a really good player. So, trying to learn how to defend that and kind of adjust the second time we played him. I feel like I did a little bit of a better job, just trying to contest and keep him contained. So after I kind of figured that out, it was helpful and just trying to help the guys out in the defensive end.
But I'm sure throughout the offseason you heard the problems that they had defensively last year and trying to fix that this year. How do you feel like that process has happened? Not just for you, but everybody, where this team is leaps and bounds better than what it was defensively a year ago.
Yeah, I think that's just how we kind of have to be. I feel like last year it was just they all can play defense. Everybody can play defense if they want to, right? It's just more of a mindset kind of thing. So I think that's just something that we kind of really heavily kind of like focused on just on the defensive end, defensive ends. Offense is going to come. Like at the beginning of the season, we weren't hitting shots. We're starting to hit shots. We're starting to kind of figure it out and going from there. So I mean, it's going to start on our defensive end. If we're going to win games, it's going to start there first, and then our offense will come.
Obviously, Zach is a big part of what you guys do defensively. Does that allow you to take a chance or two out on the perimeter, maybe more than what you normally would, knowing that he's protecting the rim?
I mean, 100%. I mean, obviously you don't want to, get beat all the time. But if in case that were to happen and you were to still kind of be there, you're leading people into a 7-4 guy. So if they want to go up and try to, test those waters, you can go ahead and see how successful that happens. But we'll just kind of let it be. Let him kind of just be down there and be that huge presence.